And for the final video of the day, um, about the whole fake data thing. Fake news, fake everything. The Webbot saying real numbers are going to be coming out early part of 2017. We're going to start hearing real numbers, not fake stuff. It's going to come out, etc. I kind of categorize this, or would say that that's what's happening here. ClimateGate 2, NOAA whistleblower claims world leaders were fooled by fake global warming data. Now, I'm going to take that up a notch because I know world leaders always have an agenda, like the carbon credit agenda, where these carbon credits would be treated as if they were stocks, shares, commodities. They could be traded from company to company. You're allocated so many carbon credits per year, but your company is polluting way more than it should. So you're about to get the crap fined out of you, or you could trade by someone else's carbon credits who has some excess because they didn't pollute as much as you. You have this little trading thing. Okay, that was the intent. And all these leaders, if you will, knew damn well what it was and knew this is another way for me to invest in something that I'll make a ton of money on if we can push this. So they knew the data was fake, but they couldn't fake it themselves, obviously. So they have one of their scientific study groups fake it for them and then accept it at face value with impunity, basically. Dr. John Bates' disclosures about the manipulation of data, being the so-called Pause Buster paper, is the biggest scientific scandal since ClimateGate in 2009, when, in Britain's Daily Mail, reported thousands of leaked emails revealed scientists were trying to block access to data and use a trick to conceal embarrassing flaws in their claims about global warming. Before I continue, I'd like to just tell you, in 05 and 06, that's when I started waking up. Peak oil, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Oh, that's a lie, okay. Al Gore, Inconvenient Truth, oh my God. Oh, that's a lie. That one bothered me. That's when I started getting mad. And when you get mad, I want to learn more. What else have I been lied to about? What else am I believing, sheepishly, without even considering, even researching it myself, just taking it at face value? I'm getting angry. Led, of course, to Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth thing. Did some research on that and found NASA data saying practically all of the planets in our solar system were heating up significantly more than the Earth was during the so-called period of known, agreed upon global warming. Some planets were over 20% hotter. I thought there was one that was up to 30%, but I don't remember for sure. Could you imagine Earth getting 20% hotter? We'd be in trouble, wouldn't we? So, not case in point, but the point being, all of the planets were heating up at the same exact time, and us humans aren't on these other planets. Okay? Not possible. Therefore, that was the key thing for me that said I no longer will believe anything about global warming no matter what I'm shown. That alone was enough for me, and I've seen plenty other. Britain's Mail on Sunday today revealed astonishing evidence that the organization that is the world's leading source of climate data rushed to publish a landmark paper that exaggerated global warming and was timed to influence the historic Paris Agreement on climate change. And as you'll recall, the leaked emails came out and kind of threw a monkey wrench in the club's plans at that point. Some of the countries, we're backing out now. Yes, another one for the good guys. Very rare, but another one for the good guys. A high-level whistleblower has told this newspaper that America's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, breached its own rules on scientific integrity when it published the sensational but flawed report, aiming at making the maximum possible impact on world leaders, including Barack Obama and David Cameron, at the UN Climate Conference in Paris in 2015. The report claimed that the pause or slowdown in global warming in the period since 1998, revealed by UN scientists in 2013, never actually existed, and that world temperatures had been rising faster than scientists expected. Launched by NOAA with a public relations fanfare, it was splashed across the world's media and cited repeatedly by politicians and policymakers. But the whistleblower, Dr. John Bates, a top NOAA scientist with an impeccable reputation, has shown the Mail on Sunday irrefutable evidence that the paper was based on misleading and unverified data. It was never subject to NOAA's rigorous internal evaluation process, which Dr. Bates devised. His vehement objections to the publication of the faulty data were overridden by his NOAA superiors in what he describes as a blatant attempt to intensify the impact of what became known as the Pausebuster paper. In an exclusive interview, Dr. Bates accused the lead author of the paper, Mr. Thomas Carl, who was until last year director of the NOAA section that produces climate data, by the way, the National Centers for Environmental Information, of insisting on decisions and scientific choices that maximized warming and minimized documentation in an effort to discredit the notion of a global warming pause, rushed so that he could time publication to influence national and international deliberations on climate policy. And why were they doing that? For the one reason I told you. They wanted carbon credits, carbon taxes. Some places, by the way, have it in existence and are actually using them now. Thank goodness America is not one of them, because Mr. Barack Obama was trying really, really hard to get that one passed. Which all leads to what? Leads to more taxpayer money, more regulations. You're polluting too much. Our scientific data says a company of your size should only be allowed to pollute this much carbon. And you're over polluting, so we're going to fine the living crap out of you unless you can trade some carbon credits. So it's like, okay, you can trade these carbon credits back and forth. That was one understanding I had, and this was years ago when I read this paper on this thing and said, wait a minute. What I took from that was, if I'm a polluter in company A, and a whole different company B is a lot less of a polluter and has excess carbon credits to spare, they can sell them to me, and then I don't have to pay the big fine? What the hell does that do to stop me from polluting? I'm still polluting more than you say I should be polluting, but I'm offsetting the fee that I would normally pay by buying someone else's carbon credits. Again, everything is a scam. What's that little, wasn't there a little video on YouTube? Everything is a rich man's trick. Is that what it's called? Let me just search that. Everything is a rich man's trick. Yeah. By the way, this is a 3.5 hour video, okay? JFK to 9/11. Everything is a rich man's trick. I saw that. Everything is a rich man's trick. Top documentary films. 8.6 stars out of 10. 854 people voted. Another one. JFK, the same one. 8.9 out of 10. 74 votes. You can watch the full thing. It's right here on YouTube. I see it right now. 3 hours, 27 minutes. JFK to 9/11. Everything is a rich man's trick. If you got some extra time, anytime, break it up into a few days, whatever you have. I highly, highly recommend watching this. This was a great documentary. Okay? So the scandal has disrupting echoes of the ClimateGate affair, which broke shortly before the UN Climate Summit in 2009, when the leak of thousands of emails between climate scientists suggested they had manipulated and hidden some data. Some were British experts at the influential Climate Research Unit at the University of East Anglia. His disclosures are likely to stiffen President Trump's determination to enact his pledges to reverse his predecessor's green policies and to withdraw from the Paris deal, so triggering an intense political row. NOAA not only failed, but it effectively mounted a cover-up. When challenged, over its data. After the paper was published, the U.S. House of Representatives Science Committee launched an inquiry into its pausebuster claims. NOAA refused to comply with subpoenas demanding internal emails from the committee chairman, the Texas Republican Lamar Smith, and falsely claimed that no one had raised concerns about the paper internally. Last night, Mr. Smith thanked Dr. Bates for courageously stepping forward to tell the truth about NOAA's senior officials playing fast and loose with the data in order to meet a politically predetermined conclusion. And by politically, fascism. What is Gerald Salente's definition of fascism? I think he's got it right. His is the merger of state or government and corporate powers. So when they politicize this, it is always a conglomerate of politicians and corporations which are infused. That's fascism. We do this for the fascists. Okay, that's what that means. He added the Carl study used flawed data, was rushed to publication in an effort to support the president's climate change agenda, and ignored NOAA's own standards for scientific study. Professor Curry, now the president of the Climate Forecast Applications Network, said last night, large adjustments to the raw data and substantial changes in successive data set versions imply substantial uncertainties. It was time, she said, that politicians and policymakers took these uncertainties on the board, or on board. Yeah, I agree. We have to expose this crap. And Donald Trump is the man to do that, and he's trying very hard. Take care.